The U.S. Capitol riot on January 6, 2021. The U.S. Capitol riot on January 6, 2021 was a shocking and unprecedented event in which a mob of supporters of then-President Donald Trump stormed the United States Capitol building in an attempt to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. The riot, which occurred while Congress was in the process of certifying the election results, resulted in the deaths of 5 people and injuries to dozens of others. The rioters also vandalized and looted offices, causing significant damage to the Capitol building. The events leading up to the riot began on December 19, 2020, when the Electoral College voted to confirm Joe Biden as the winner of the 2020 presidential election. Trump and his supporters, however, refused to accept their results, claiming widespread voter fraud and irregularities. Trump and his allies in Congress, including then-Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, made repeated calls for the election results to be overturned, and Trump himself made repeated false claims that the election had been stolen from him. On January 6, 2021, Trump held a rally in Washington, D.C., during which he continued to make false claims about the election and called on his supporters to march to the Capitol. After the rally, a mob of Trump supporters, many of whom were members of far-right and white supremacist groups, headed to the Capitol. The rioters, who were heavily armed and wearing body armor, breached security barriers, fought with police, and entered the Capitol building. Inside the Capitol, the rioters vandalized offices, including those of Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi and Vice President Mike Pence, and looted items such as computers and documents. They also entered the Senate and House chambers, interrupting the joint session of Congress that was in the process of certifying the election results. Lawmakers were forced to evacuate, and the Capitol was placed on lockdown. The rioters also engaged in violent clashes with law enforcement, and 5 people, including a Capitol police officer, died as a result of the violence. At least 140 Capitol and D.C. police officers were injured, some of them seriously. The U.S. Capitol riot was widely condemned by leaders from both parties and around the world. It was also seen as an attack on American democracy, as the rioters sought to overturn the results of a free and fair election. The riot also had immediate and long-term consequences. In the immediate aftermath, President Trump was impeached by the House of Representatives for incitement of insurrection, becoming the first president in U.S. history to be impeached twice. Several of the rioters were arrested and charged with federal crimes. Additionally, several of Trump's allies, including his personal lawyer Rudy Giuliani, were also under investigation for their role in the events leading up to the riot. The riot also led to increased security measures at the Capitol and other government buildings. The National Guard was deployed to the Capitol in the days following the riot, and a fence was erected around the building. Additionally, many states and cities implemented increased security measures in response to the riot, and some states activated their National Guard units. The U.S. Capitol riot also had a lasting impact on American politics. It further deepened the divisions and polarizations in the country, and it led to a renewed focus on issues related to white supremacy and domestic terrorism. Additionally, the riot led to a renewed focus on the issue of political violence, and it led to increased calls for the government to address the problem of domestic extremism. In conclusion, the U.S. Capitol riot on January 6, 2021 was a shocking and unprecedented event that resulted in the deaths of 5 people and injuries to dozens of others. It was an attack on American democracy and an attempt to overturn the results of a free,